would say, and somebody who is able to question and reason a lot better. So yes, we should be doing a lot more in Nigeria to address the reading culture at a very young age. And when I say young age, I mean, pre-11, the primary school phase where children start to learn how to read, how to write, and how to, we don't want children to just be able to read academically or read as much as they need to read to pass in their academics, but we want them to be able to explore. So for me, it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to create reading material for children. A book. Do we know what that book is?
My Nigerian places blind.
We're going to have to look at the front of the book, look at the cover of the book and read it out.
Beautiful place and culture.
Yes.
What I'm going to say now, publishers who have been here for a while can bear witness to it. When I set up a printing press, I needed to use my capacity, because I had more capacity than I needed to print my only single book, The Medifarm. So I sold my printing capacity to publishers. Macmillan, Heinemann, everybody. They were coming to print with me. They were bringing their own papers, bringing their own covers, because there was a specification by government of what kind of quality you can put in this school system. So it's all been there before. We just let it go. All we have to do is to dust the books and bring back all those regulations. They are there. If you do not build capacity, you do not know what to get. I can tell you, most of the magazines you see on the road nowadays, which are looking very nice and glossy, are printed here. There are printers, but you see, the printers here are jobbers. They have been used, they were trained to print invoices, calendars, leaflets, and whatever it is. So what I like to say is that they are not built, or the capacity to print books is not there, but it can easily be added.
Let me read from The Tiny Big First Step.
Okay.
Interesting title.
Yes.
The Tiny Big.
A lot of story went into that title. I must tell you, maybe for another day.
Okay. The Tiny Big First Step. For years, I knew I was born to fulfill a great destiny, but for one reason or the other, this never came to pass because of the thief called procrastination.
Very, very big thief.
Procrastination has stolen a lot
of destinies,
a lot from people.
A lot of fulfillment, a lot of successes that could have been recorded. But you know how it is, you plan to wake up for maybe 5 a.m. and you end up waking up for 6 a.m. An hour has been stolen out of your time because you procrastinated, and that might snowball into the rest of the day. So it's a big issue. It's a big issue. And I decided to tackle it heads on because I felt that if I could share with people that there are things you can do to overcome procrastination, then I would have done my own little bit, in the progress of humanity.
So this book is about procrastination?
Yes. Why people procrastinate. I interviewed about 15 people, on why they procrastinate, their story on procrastination. They shared insights. Some gave amazing definitions because I interviewed people across the board, professors, people living in South Africa, living in the US, living in the UK.
Were you able to see common
there's
reasons?
A common thread, yes.
Which one stands out?
I think it's inherent.
Procrastination?
Yes. I was trying to see whether it was inherent or an environmental thing. Maybe something that happens after we've all been born.
And what do you conclude?
I believe it's a combination of the two. But more than anything else, it's inherent
We just
in all of us.
naturally want to
We
wait.
just want to be. One of the reasons I gave why people procrastinate is because of laziness. You won't believe it. But the average person is lazy. They just want to roll up sleeves and do nothing. you know. So
I want to roll up my sleeves
and just do not and get paid.
I get paid.
And get paid. So, but you can't do that in life.
You can't.
You've got to be responsible. You've got to wake up early. You've got to do your chores, and so on and so forth.
It's a story that speaks about my early, you can say my early politicization, my early understanding of what goes on in my environment. Because I believe there were not many secondary school pupils that were at my level who had the same level of political consciousness at the time. Again, because of this desire to see the environment work well, the desire to see everything go well, the desire to see people live at peace and make progress, I was conscious of what was happening in my environment. So when the war came, I saw that it was a war that we, those of us who were in eastern Nigeria then, who became Biafra, felt that we have been mistreated. And therefore, if somebody mistreated you and you retreated to your own enclave, and the person pursues you to enclave, what else do you have to do but to fight?
Who is to blame for the Nigerian Civil War?
If you ask me, truly, there are many actors. The instigator was the guys who did the coup. They instigated it. Because if that coup did not happen, probably there would have been nothing that would have led to one.
The January 1966.
1966 coup. They were the originators of the problem. The 26th July coup in 1966
July.
was a reply, you know. And for me, as I said, as a broad-minded person, I could understand that coup. And I'm sure you've read other stories about the war. It was not an Igbo coup.
You don't think it was an Igbo coup?
It wasn't an Igbo coup. Majority of
but
the
a lot
people,
of commentators say it was an Igbo
it's not an Igbo coup. Go and look at the list of the people who planned the coup. There were very few Igbo, and you see Nzogwu happened to be the leader, and it was the failure of some of his compatriots, his partners, to carry out their own side of the agreement in dealing with some political figures from the east that gave it the coloration. It was not. Go and read their reason why we struck. There was nothing to benefit the Igbo man.